Good morning, good morning. Happy holiday season.
Merry Christmas.
Episode number 15, Breakfast with Ben and Cheryl. How are we doing this morning? You might have saw me tinkering online a little earlier. I was adjusting some resolution sizes. So
yes, so we weren't all super tall.
Super skinny. So, welcome to episode number 15. This is part 4 of our goal setting series, Taking Action.
Taking action.
And putting an action plan. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off with this week's quote. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's by Joe Saba.
You got to start somewhere.
You just got to take that first step. And
every master started as a disaster.
That has been the theme of putting that first foot forward.
Yeah.
And so this week we are talking about action plans.
Action.
Now, Cheryl and I were talking about the action plans, and we were going over the differences, and I was like, well, didn't we go through a lot of that last week? We were writing down the different things we need to do as part of our goals.
Right, and A of paper is action. They are the action steps. And what makes the action plan different from the goal plan is that the action plan is part of the goal plan. In the action step in the goal paper system, we were planning out the things that you would need to do. Like I use the example for gardening. I have to figure out the seasons of things, and I want to.
But before we go, one thing I really like how you broke it down was they're different. They affect you differently in terms of.
Correct. Yeah. The action. That's what I was trying to get to. But the action plan in the paper goals is more emotional side, to where that's the emotional things. You just have to mentally check. Okay. Well, these are the things that I need to get done. The action plan are the part of the physical, actual steps that you have to take. And you do have to plan those out, so you know that you're always making progress. And part of the action plan is taking those action steps that you put in the paper, your paper system, and breaking those down. Like, for example, with the gardening thing, with the seasons. How would I need to go and figure out the different seasons? Well, first I have to go and choose the crops. You know, which kind of things do I want to plant? And then I have to research their timing and figure out when I can plant those, what kind of sunlight they need. I need to look at my yard, see how sunlight affects that part of the yard.
Whereas as your goal from last week was more so, I will know I am a successful gardener.
Correct.
When I can eat
a salad
when you have that emotional tie-in of like,
yes.
I made this, I learned the seasons, yes. And I got it right. So that's a really good way, and that's something that I was a little confused about was, well, I don't want people to feel like we're just having them write down the same thing over and over, but you've got to understand the difference between the physical and the emotional value of those two things.
And they do have to come together.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, good morning, Jody Brown and Realty Masters. How are you guys doing this morning? Always a pleasure to have you guys tuning in.
But yes, that's basically the physical side of things is breaking down your to-do lists. Like, now I have to find the space, so I need to map out a part of my yard. Do I need to have a fence? You know, how much square feet is my plot going to be? How much fencing do I need?
So since you are more of the planner and the visionary, and we understand that role, what would you recommend for people in terms of, I don't know what steps I'm going to need? You know, do they need to list out the ones that they know that they're going to run it? You know, you're going to have to plan it. You know, you're going to have to find a place to grow your crops.
But this is like breaking it down into the fence and...
No, and I understand that, but, you know, should they leave blank spots in those action steps for things that might occur?
I suppose, but that all comes with the research. I mean, you have Google now. It tells you exactly what you need to do. You just need to schedule it out.
Or to bring it back, You just have to start.
Yeah.
Instead of researching to death, because
that's where you find the information to do it.
No, and I know that's not your point. But don't get hung up in that monotony of doing research.
Yeah, no, but you do have. I mean, you're not just gonna. Why go and reinvent the wheel? Why are you gonna try and figure out all the stuff when all the information's online? You do have to research it to an extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And find those answers, and then actually schedule out. Okay, weekend 3, I need to go to Lowe's. I need to get, 20 linear feet of wire fencing. I need to get, fertilizer and those kind of things. That's what I'm trying to.
And with that, should we be putting down deadlines within that action? By week 3. Yes,
that's all part of, scheduling out the action plan so you can keep in line with your reviews when you're checking in, because you have your review dates for your goal, and that way your goals can be fit in with that.
So breaking down each of those steps into I guess, and making sure that that's part of that R of reviewing. You got to go back, and not even at the end of the goal, but making sure that you
have to fill in the time in between with your action plan.
Well, because we talked about that the other day. Starting a garden in the spring is too late.
Right. Yeah, there's soil prep, there's...
finding the space, getting it all ready. What vegetables do you grow?
Right.
So, absolutely. Man, taking action. It's
a lot to do. And that's why it's important to write it all down and put it on paper so you can actually see it. Okay, these are all the things that I need to do, and then you're making it manageable tasks for the week. Like, you just look at your week calendar and you have to, I just need to go sprinkle some stuff down on the soil, and that's it. And that's progress. And it just makes it simple.
And that much easier to start and not overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah, and making sure that listing down those actions, and especially for a more day-to-day person, putting it where it's on a weekly calendar. It's like, okay, well, I know I just got to do these few things this week, and I'm good. And that's going to get me to that rock, that end goal. So kind of we're going through the pebbles and the sand right now to get there.
Yes.
Very cool.
So, just break down your action steps from your paper goals.
So last week went over our paper goals. We broke down what are we wanting to accomplish, and that is the emotional tie-in to figuring out why we want to accomplish these goals. The example we've been referencing quite a bit is Cheryl knows that she will be a successful gardener when she can eat a salad from her own garden, consisting
that's just
of
totally a hypothetical.
See, but she said it, so now you guys got to hold her accountable.
I haven't wrote it down on paper. Well, I guess I did.
So, and that's the emotional tie-in. That's not going to help her. Writing down that goal isn't going to help her achieve it. So, while it does hold you accountable, you need to take that next step and create that action plan to go ahead and get started. So, and that's some of the steps. Some of the stuff that we've been implementing. We've been in our business. We've been connecting every Monday and just working strictly on the business and trying to coming up with an action plan, because you go into a Monday or a Tuesday and you're like, I want to accomplish this week, and it's Wednesday and that's gone, that's out the window. Everything else has come up. But if you take the time, write them down, and set those things, that makes them important to you, and you're not going to schedule over something that you have to do.
Right.
And that's something I've been bad about, in terms of, I want to knock out this continuing education course, or I want to take this online courses are like my weakness, in terms of just sitting down, and not that I don't enjoy them or take away content. But I'm just like, okay, learn. I feel like I should be doing something else. I'm not being productive if I'm just sitting there.
Yes.
But if I can see where those steps are part of my action plan to get to that end goal, it's a lot more digestible.
Yes.
So, take action, guys.
Yes. That's it. Now to our
part 2.
Wrap, or our stuff.
See more yeah, we're doing our short show format. So like I said, we try to get that content to you guys right off the bat. So if you have to get back to the office or you're in between meetings, we understand that, but we wanted to give you some content while you're here. And then the second part of the show is where Cheryl and I recap a little bit about what's going on with us in terms of books we're listening to, tools we're using, resources that we found, and we want to share that with you guys. And Realty Masters is taking action.
Yes. Yeah.
We know it. And so this week we wanted to go ahead and start out and wins and struggles. I mean, here we are in the holiday season, right?
Wins.
Or how do we have bumps, power-ups and bumps. So it's really cool because Cheryl, I think we talked about this last week, and it's kind of funny because people are, how's everything going? How's the holidays treating you? I'm like, well, we're designing a lot of forms, and that's really exciting. And so we come up with, and you have to make your forms something that is fun or something that has to have a name, a branding to it. It can't just be fill out your tracking log.
Yeah.
God, who wants to fill out that? I, however, would like to fill out my weekly power log or weekly power form.
Yes.
And this is, a form that Cheryl and I kind of created together.
Right.
And where we recap those things in our business that we're wanting to track. Because it seems that
you can't improve what you can't track.
Absolutely. And simple things like our YouTube and video analytics, people that we touch base with. I even requested an expectations versus reality chart. So, you go through Monday I'm gonna knock out this, Tuesday I'm gonna knock out this, and then at the end of the day you kind of got to go back and you're like, well, I didn't knock out this, I didn't knock out that. So it's kind of also a way to hold myself accountable for the day. Like, no, I wanted this done by Tuesday.
Yeah.
So weekly power-ups.
Weekly power-ups. I guess my win is doing these forms because that's my struggle, is focusing on my wins. Like, I don't write them down.
I mean, we were in our meeting yesterday, and we were like, and I mean, it felt kind of shitty.
It did.
Just to I don't know what the win is, but
I know I had some.
Yeah.
I know I had some exciting stuff, but then I just can't remember them because all the negative stuff is just so weighing down because we just got done, we would just get done going through, well, did this get taken care of? No. Did this get taken care of? How about this? Yeah, no. And then all those no's just they pile up, but the yeses, when we cross off the stuff, it's like, oh, yay, done. So much progress that we see, but we don't even see it because we don't acknowledge it.
Well, and that's, writing stuff down and crossing it out, that does that physically makes you feel better in your head. So write it down, even if you're going to accomplish it 10 minutes later, write it down so you can cross it off. Because I tell you, some of the things that I hadn't done yet, we wrote them down at our meeting, and I knocked them right out, crossed it right off. But
and
it's tough. It's really tough to not focus on the negative. It's all the things I have to do, not what are some of the things I've done. And that's, you designed a form that we can use in our business that is going to help us track, and that, that's really exciting. But you don't ever really think, oh, well, I designed a form. That's my big win. No, but that's really cool, and being able to use that is really neat.
Yes. So how about you?
My power up is I feel like I always go back to the career-wise, but I had an opportunity to work on a commercial production this past week in a little bit different role than I'm usually a camera operator, and this was a little bit more directing production, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a really fun opportunity. It was a really good experience, and felt like I got an opportunity to grow a little bit more and be a little bit more vocal. With the stuff I've learned.
Pushed your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not usually a very not demandy, but I'm not a very outspoken kind of well, let me just take care of that myself. And so learning to do that was that was cool. Yeah.
I like Jody mentioned that she has a friend who highlights the things on her to-do list when she accomplishes them, just so there's yay, look,
that's nice. And it brings, and they're brighter rather than crossing them out.
Right.
Jody Brown. I'm gonna give you a highlighter to drop next time I see you. That's awesome. Thank you. So,
struggle, bump.
I mentioned it last week. I was still in CRM hell, trying to figure out exactly what's customer tool we were going to use, and I think we've narrowed it down to Insightly.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of integrations, which I feel like our current one was lacking. And then my struggle within that now is there's got to be a process for every different task that we do.
Yes.
And trying to figure all those out, and without a mind map, without just being able to physically write it out, it's been something I've been just like, there's smoke coming out sometimes. So
what have we done to cure that?
You might have seen on Snapchat, but we have now installed a 4x3 whiteboard in our living room.
Yay!
I couldn't be more excited. In fact, we were using it last night to go over some pre-production questions on a project. But just being able to write that stuff out, I'm really excited about that, and kind of talk through the process with Cheryl, and because I go through and I do stuff a little bit differently, and that's where we're trying to refine this, because we don't want. I want to be able to eventually start bringing people on and just showing them the steps, not, well, let me show you how I did it, and then, somebody else told me different. So that's been that's what I've been trying to take out of the struggle, if you will.
Yes, and if anyone has any insight in Insightly, please comment below or message us.
Yes, any tips, tricks, like this is a template I used. I had an opportunity to connect with Meg Burke on that commercial shoot, and we were talking about CRMs, like normal friends do. And she kind of was like, "Oh, I get you." She's been through that struggle, and I appreciate the opportunity to chat with her a little bit about that. So that was always fun.
I guess that's our resource.
And that's the resource. Yeah. Well, and to brag on Insightly a little bit, a couple of things I love about them, obviously, is the integrations. They're very Google friendly, so we use Google Apps for our email and stuff, so it integrates right in there. It's really low cost. It's about $12 a user a month, so it's really affordable. Being able to track all your clients, projects, opportunities, I'm really looking forward to that.
Awesome. So I guess that's pretty much
we're kind of wrapping up.
Next week's episode, we're just going to be reviewing all the steps for creating your goal plan.
I mean, it's going to be the last show of the year.
The last show of the goals wrap up.
Yeah. I know we've kind of ran into some technical difficulties throughout this series, but definitely tune in next week. We'll lightning recap, if you will.
Right.
Not going into much in depth, but just to go over that process. And then our goal is to also get this up on the website so that you guys can have a resource to download and to have the forms and everything ready to go.
Yes. And to maybe have some videos to help guide through that a little bit, because it's daunting writing down goals. You just sit there and stare at the paper like, I don't know.
This is hard.
Yeah, it's just
I don't want to do it.
Paper, and it's so
I'm
hard.
gonna watch YouTube on my phone now.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you can just go to Breakfast with Ben and Cheryl.
Yes.
And then we can help you out.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And to recap from today's quote, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that's absolutely true, guys. So go out there, take action, work on those goals. We're rolling in here to the new year.
2017.
Make sure that you tune in next week at 8 a.m. on Tuesday for episode number 16.
Number 16,
and
last one of the year.
We'll be recapping our goals and putting them on paper. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this week.
Yes, thanks everyone. Who commented and everyone who's watched. That's great.
You should see Cheryl's face light up.
Look.
That's fun. Well, dang, that totally distracted me, but you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for all the tips, comments. I mean, I love what's going on here. So
yes, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you next week.